There we go.
Welcome back to episode 3 of the Two Guys in a Six-Pack podcast. Nick Seger here.
Seger-Ballard over here.
And we are here after the very official preseason game of 2023. The Hall of Fame game, but more like the Hall of Lame game because it was kind of a shit show.
I want to know whose idea it was to have those two teams square up against each other for the Hall of Fame game. Holy shit.
Wouldn't have been a bad game if starters were playing. There were two respectable teams. It probably would have been a decent game, but watching them teams' backups was like watching a high school game.
Did you just call the Jets and the Browns both respectable?
I'd say now, yeah. Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson. I guess nobody really respects Deshaun Watson anymore, but
no. Even from a football perspective, I don't know if he has it anymore, truth be told. He started in 6 games last season. He went 3 for 3. Granted, yeah, new team, new system. But from what Deshaun looked like before he sat out, before all the allegations came out against him, dude was electric. So, I don't know. He went from a solid A to a C+ for me so far.
Yeah. It's
a lot of money.
It's curious what happens. Because I've always respected Deshaun Watson when he was in Texans because, no matter what his team was, he was a thorn in the Indianapolis Colts side.
You're right.
Yeah.
They did make it to the AFC Championship against the Kansas City Chiefs. That was 3 Super Bowls ago? I think.
Yeah, that was a team though. J.J. Watt, DeAndre Hopkins, Deshaun Watson,
Will Fuller.
That was a team.
Tyrann Mathieu,
Will
DJ
Fuller.
At one point in time, they had a very, very talented roster on both sides. Jadeveon Clowney used to be a Texan. That's where he went. So, granted, Clowney hasn't really done all that much in the NFL, so I don't know how you want to take that. He's been on so many different teams over his career. It's hard to keep track.
And how many times have you won him on the Patriots?
Do what?
I said, how many times have you won him on the Patriots?
I do want him on the Patriots.
Oh, my bad.
Because
I know somebody else you want on the Patriots that is currently a trending topic.
Do I want him on the roster? No. Would I like to see him on the roster just to piss you off? Absolutely. I'd take it all day. Yeah, guys.
Come on, just sign him. He's not that expensive. He's a hell of a running back. Irsay, just bite the bullet and sign Jonathan Taylor.
We have Ramondre Stevenson, though. The same reason I don't want Dalvin Cook.
Could you imagine Ramondre Stevenson and JT both in the backfield? Come on.
It would be fun to watch. But I can say the same thing about Dalvin Cook. And reportedly, they're also looking at Ezekiel Elliott. So I get it for depth. I don't want that? I don't want Zeke. We already got Juju. I don't want Zeke. But Juju has actually been looking really good in camp, so I'm not going to complain. Ironically enough, I'm kind of turning around on the Juju train a little bit. because he's looked really good in training camp. I don't think he's our number one receiver. I think he's definitely going to be like the slot guy, but when you look at the Patriots and you look at our history, the slot guy is kind of like that. It's a very important position.
True.
We had.
He's a pretty big receiver.
He is. A couple other highlights just from today that I noticed. I watched some highlights from training camp today, and Demario Douglas, dude's a dog. So I'm really excited to see what he's going to end up doing this season, along with Kayshon Boutte from LSU. Another late-round pick that we had in the draft. Another rookie that's kind of showing some flashes of greatness. People say Bill doesn't draft receivers, and I think like those are two promising prospects right there that might turn that whole idea around. And another one. And from last year's draft, I feel like he might have been, for me, the most exciting draft pick that we had. And as you know, from all of the times that we've played Madden, he is kind of like my number one guy on offense, and that is Tyquan Thornton. He's kind of taking a back seat a little bit because, again, Demario Douglas is really starting to shine a bit. But I like TT, so if he could kind of prove himself to be that number 3, number 4 receiver, and if he can produce, I'm all for it. Absolutely.
Hey, you guys got quite a few receivers.
We do.
Got quite a bit of them.
The thing is, we don't have a real standout number one guy. And that's where, back when Hopkins was still a free agent, a lot of people really wanted to see it because he would be that clear number one guy that we don't really ever have. But that's just not how we operate as an offense, it feels like. It's more like a committee ordeal. We got a lot of guys that would, on any other roster, they'd be good number 2s and number 3s. But when you have a roster that's full of 2s and 3s, it's really hard to pick out like who's going to be that number one guy.
The Colts, Anthony Richardson did throw his first interception in training camp today, but apparently it was like a really good defensive player of a guy that I haven't heard of him before, but apparently he's a linebacker. No, he's a cornerback, and we might have picked him up this year. Darrell Evans I think is his name. Apparently he's super, super fast, and he is breaking up plays left and right on the defense. So I'm excited to see what he brings to the table. Alec Pierce is making a huge step in year 2. I haven't heard much out of our tight ends. I heard we have like 6 on the roster right now, and apparently all of them can play ball, so that's good. And we have like 5 running backs on the roster, not even including Jonathan Taylor, so we need Jonathan Taylor in that backfield, though, man. Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson in the backfield, which we talked about this before the stream. I don't know if you guys know this, but Anthony Richardson is taller. Anthony Richardson weighs more. Anthony Richardson runs faster than Derrick Henry. That's what I'm talking. That's a big dude. Yeah.
He's a big dude, but what's he going to be able to do with it? That's my question.
He's going to bring us a Super Bowl, isn't it? You hear my dogs? Like, come on now. What are we doing here?
Oh, they're excited.
Shut up. They are excited.
Not the little yak.
Do what?
Oh, you don't want to tell the people about your dogs? They're so excited. They want to meet all of our fans.
Come here. First one up is, oh my God, River. Full-blooded German Shepherd. She's a little bitty baby. A little baby. Now go play. And then I have the little cockapoo, Chloe. She's kind of a brat. She's a little mean one. And then my other one, I have a beagle that's outside, but she's tied up because she'll chase rabbits.
Hey, the way I'm looking at it, dogs are popular on the internet. So, like, you showing two, that's like, we're going to get like 200 views right there, 100 each.
Everybody, show your love for the dog. Ow. Now go play. Oh, man. Now they're all over me. Thank you. Thanks for
welcome.
that.
You're welcome.
Go play. You know how they were. They were just like us last week. Get out here.
I thought they were just excited because I was over there. They were.
Yeah, no, they're just excited.
Like, oh my God, Dad's talking to people. I don't see him, but I'm excited about it.
They probably just wanted to bite that jersey.
Hey, I like how you keep the flag up, though. Even though I'm not over there, that Patriots flag just looks so just right. It brings the whole background together. You know, meanwhile,
I thought about taking it down, but then
that means you have to touch it again.
Yeah, that's like yucky.
Nah,
but I don't. It's kind of been a slow week in the NFL. Like, there's really not many headlines. Like, training camp is underway. I am going to training camp August 16th when there's a joint practice with the Chicago Bears. So, anybody is going to be there, hit me up.
I'm not going to be there.
Harold, let me know. No, you're not going to be there. My other buddy will be. He'll be my cameraman for the day.
There you go. I would love to attend training camp for my team, but I live like 23 hours away, and I'm poor, so I can't fly. Maybe one day. It'll happen one day.
And I don't see the Colts-Patriots have a joint practice either.
No, but they do play in Germany, so that is going to be a very special episode for the podcast that week, specifically. We're going to hype that one up on.
Yeah. It's going to be like our Super Bowl week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, anytime that y'all play us, it's almost like the Super Bowl for you.
Yeah.
Especially when you win. I mean, y'all just want to hang the damn banner up right then and there. But I get it.
We might as well.
It's the only way you're going to get a banner in that damn arena.
You think you guys think you're taking your division this year?
Well, I'm not going to say no. The thing is, and we touched on this last episode as far as like difficulty in divisions. We are in arguably the hardest division in the NFL. On top of that, we also have like a top 5 most difficult schedule on top of it. So I feel like we're one of those teams. I said this last season too. We're one of those teams. We can beat any team in the division. We can beat any team in the NFL. We can also lose to any team in the NFL too. I thought we were locks in for against the Ravens last season. Go ahead.
That's the thing too, though. Like, almost. I mean, the NFL is competitive. Like, any team can win any week, really.
It is. It's extremely competitive.
It's a tough.
Like,
especially the AFC.
Yeah, AFC's just loaded right now, and again, like our division, like you just look at it, there's not a bad team in our whole division. And I'm going to be real nice to the Jets, and I'm going to say that. I'm going to give them that, backhanded compliment. But we also play like
Jets are sneaky. Jets are sneaky.
Yeah, but we also play the NFC East. We're playing the Eagles. We're playing the Giants. Those are two teams that I just, in the past, don't care for them. Don't care for them too much. And for those who are keeping up with it, last week we had talked about Super Bowl predictions, and I'm going to go ahead and change my answer. I said Chargers and Eagles. I'm going to keep the Chargers. I'm going to believe in that one. But I'm going to say the 49ers are going to go to the Super Bowl this year.
That's who I picked.
Yeah, you convinced me. Depending on who's going to play quarterback.
If they solidify who's going to be their QB1, they have the defense, they have the weapons on offense. I really think if they stick with Sam Darnold can lead that team to a Super Bowl.
But what if Brock Purdy?
Because he doesn't have to do that. I mean, if Purdy's healthy, yeah, he'll be QB1. But Sam Darnold does not have to do. All he has to do is be a facilitator, like a game manager. He doesn't have to do too much. That team has weapons. I think they'll be fine.
I mean, to be fair, like they made it to a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. So if Jimmy G can take him to a Super Bowl, I feel like kind of any quarterback can get into that system and have some sort of production value to him.
Yeah. And speaking of, oh my gosh. And speaking of Jimmy G, like I heard he failed his physical at Vegas.
Really? I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So I don't know what's going on with that. Like apparently he's not with the team. Apparently he failed his physical.
Well, darn, I hate that. It's almost like that's one less former Patriot that the Raiders have right now. I feel like that's most of the team right now.
So I think that leaves the Raiders with Jared Stidham, I believe.
Another former Patriot.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure on that.
I think you're right. Yeah. Carwin's insane. They signed Jimmy G and Jared Stidham. I think, unless they drafted the quarterback, but I don't think they did.
I don't think so either. I don't think so. Man, like I said a while ago, like it's a slow week in the NFL, and there's really not a whole lot to talk about.
No. We signed. I don't even remember the guy's name. He never played a snap in the NFL. Like he was always hurt. He was drafted by the 49ers, I think, in 2019 in the 3rd round. He was released. We signed him. He caught one pass from Bailey Zappi in training camp, and apparently he got hurt again. He just retired. Speaking of retirements, it's also reported that Sony Michel is retiring from the NFL.
5 seasons. I did not know he only played 5 seasons.
Yeah, 5 seasons. He's got 2 rings. Ironically enough.
2 out of 5 ain't bad.
I mean, he got one with the Patriots when we played against the Rams.
Did he not get MVP?
No.
No? I feel like he got Super Bowl MVP for some reason.
No, the one he won with us was Edelman was the MVP. And then he won with the Rams against the Bengals, and I forget who was MVP in that game.
Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp was.
It was either him or Donald.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe Stafford. Maybe.
I want to say it was Cooper Kupp. I'm not 100% sure on that.
I think you're right. I'm going to. Yeah.
Beer break.
Beer break. speaking of beer, this is going to be a new fun little segment on the show that we've talked about. I wanted to go ahead and do starting this week. Every episode we're going to do, we are going to showcase at least one new beer because this is two guys in a six-pack. We're the two guys. We got to talk about the six-pack sometimes too, y'all. So this week, this is one of my own personal favorites over the years. If I had to have a top 5 beer, it would be in the top 3. I want to put it that way. It is Miller Genuine Draft, bottled draft beer, which is a very difficult thing to pull off. It tastes like it's right from the tap. So when it's nice and cold, especially in a good glass bottle, it's always a good time. Sometimes you need a break from perfection. We've talked about this before. Busch Light is always going to be the number one. But sometimes you get tired of having great beer all the time. You want to have something that's just worse but different. Slightly worse is okay.
So, add a little bit of sweetness.
Nah.
Actually, not even a little bit of sweetness. It's a lot of sweetness.
I like it a lot more than the apple, though. The peach is just, it's more subtle. The apple is just too in your face.
It's literally the perfect breakfast beer.
I believe it. It's almost like a good a redneck mimosa. There we go.
I have a buddy that makes Busch Light mimosas where he takes Busch Light and orange juice. Busch Light peach and orange juice would probably be freaking killer.
You know, a wise man once said, you have to add anything to a good beer. Is the beer all that good to begin with?
True. Maybe he's just looking for his vitamins.
Maybe. I don't know. I've done some pretty crazy concoctions over the years. I think one of my personal favorites was taking a pint of Guinness Nitro Cold Brew and then throwing in some Bailey's Irish Cream and then a good splash of like Jameson on top of it. You mix that all together. If you work night shift, that's going to be your best friend. I'm just going to say that much. Yeah.
It's the perfect night drink.
Perfect night shift drink right there. It's morning time. If you like coffee, highly recommend.
And then also on our next subject, where we're talking about I'll let him introduce the beer this week. I'll introduce a new beer next week. But I do want to introduce our new little gadget. It's not our gadget, but the Kraken 2.0. If you guys follow us on TikTok, it's in my TikTok shop. I just posted a video about it, and you can buy it from the TikTok shop. Help support the podcast. All the money and proceeds used to buy that goes to us will literally be put right back into our podcast because we need equipment.
Yeah.
But the Kraken 2.0 when by Wild Man Drinking Company. Perfect little handy dandy tool when you're with the boys or girls, whatever you are.
And that mystical rainbow in between.
And that little rainbow in between, whatever you are, if you're a dog, cat, whatever you are these days. It hurts my finger. Anyways, I'm gonna pop this. All I do is put it in there like so, 45-degree angle. Listen. I felt like that was a good effect there. Did you see the? Anyways, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Delicioso. Pops right out of there. Perfect little hole. You guys like it? Interested? Hop on over our TikTok page. We'll have a link in the bio here. Go ahead and go get yourself one. We'll be introducing more little gadgets like that go with drinking. I know there's a Freedom funnel that I really want to get.
Well, speaking of which, and
Have you
It
seen
was.
the
Do what?
Have you seen the Freedom Funnel?
We were talking about that right before the stream started. We were talking about different beers,
Yeah.
and I was like, I want one of those so bad.
They're like, God, I want to say they're like $30 on TikTok Shop. But I have
That's
some
what
coupons and shit coming up, so I'm gonna look into getting us a couple, especially for the pod, especially around 4th of July. Oh, come on now.
It's like the taste of freedom. Hear a bald eagle cry off in the distance every time you fill her up.
Yeah. You have something on your hand over there too. We don't get no commission off this, but it's a nice little gadget.
Yeah, we don't talk. We're not getting paid to talk about it, but it's something I always like to talk about anytime it comes up. I got right here a Kong beer koozie. I know lighting's not the best, so you can't really see it all that well. But for the people who like a good beer funnel on the go, it comes with this nice little tube, and it has a nice little socket right there. You just pop it right off. It's got a little notch down here in the bottom. Yeah, just lock it into place. The party is mobile, y'all. It's always a good time. So, I know I just showcased a new beer. But we'll do the Busch Light Peach.
Hey, I'm gonna get all fancy with this right here. You're pouring it in. Here we go. Wait, it's coming. There's supposed to be music playing. There's not music playing. What's going on?
Well, come on now, pitter patter. Let's get at her.
It says it's playing, but it's not. Maybe it's playing and we can't even hear it.
Yeah, you're right.
We'll see when Yeah, down the hatch it goes. There might be music playing. There might not be music playing. Tasty.
There we go.
Tastes like your grandmama's peach cobbler.
It's so convenient, and again, it's also a koozie, and a really fine koozie also. So, yeah, that's my favorite beer drinking toy. I always like to bust.
We gotta get
out.
our hand in.
Yeah, we do. We really do. Nah,
we gotta get a Freedom Funnel.
Design something that repels. There we go.
But we're not just beer drinkers around these parts. Which, unfortunately, he is on that side of the screen today, and he's at his house and not my house. But my good old brother here, Seger-Ballard, was nice enough to gift the podcast with a good old bottle of Basil Hayden. And it is sure freaking delicious.
Premium bourbon, right? For bourbon lovers out there. And I'm not
just
saying
act like I didn't break the cork.
I want to pretend you didn't.
It broke the top off, but the cork was still good. Oh my gosh, that's there is just like I wish you could see it. Like, you got the frosty glass, but there's just ever so slightly ice crystals on the top of this right now. Oh, let's just give it a little talk about real quick. Artfully aged, distilled in Frankfort, Kentucky. We like that. You want to give them a little rundown of what Basil Hayden means to you?
What Basil Hayden means to me specifically. Fun fact here. So a few years ago, my dad, he got into like genealogy and like ancestry.com and stuff, not a sponsor. But we found out that Basil Hayden is actually my 7th generation back. So great grandfather. and just a fun little thing there. Yeah,
Fun little thing.
I come from
Cheers, old
old
grandpappy.
baby.
God damn, that's smooth.
Honestly, God, it's not because of that. I stand behind that bourbon 1,000%. I know
so
in
smooth.
these parts, for those that live in the area, I see a good fifth go for like $40-$50 for a $50 whiskey. I mean, you can't not go wrong. Kentucky made
like bourbon's really big, right? Like bourbon's always been big, but bourbon is like high dollar, like hard to keep on shelves, like good bourbon anymore. And then if it is, it's overpriced. Like you're talking $90, $100, $110 a bottle. You can't go. That's one of the best bourbons I had.
I've seen some bottles go for Of course, if you got the money, yeah, go nuts, I guess. But I'm not one that's going to spend $400 on a fifth of whiskey. Just me personally.
Yeah. Not spend that kind of money when you could spend, like you said, $50 on this small batch, and it's one of the best tasting bourbons you can have. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
There's no need.
Yeah, specifically that one, it's very smooth. Like you got some,
like hardly any bone.
Yeah. And me personally, I like a good smooth bourbon. I'm not one. I don't like mixing. When it comes to a good bourbon, I think the less stuff that you add to your drink, the better off you are. Now, if you're talking like Jim Beam, Jack Daniels, or Evan Williams, those, yeah, Jack and Coke, it's a classic cocktail, of course, from my youth. Can't do it.
But Jack and Dr. Pepper, way better.
I'm gonna side with you on
that. Jack and Dr. Pepper was my go-to, like, for years.
Yeah, same here. Anytime I get a bottle of Jack, it would be, I'm going to get a bottle of Dr. Pepper too. Yes, sir. Well, while we're on the subject, let's do a real quick ranking. What are your top 3 whiskeys? We're not going to limit it to just bourbon or rye or anything like that. Just whiskey in general. Give me your top 3.
So obviously, I've had to have it before.
Of course.
I will go with just by the fact of like what I've had. I mean, Basil Hayden. Like if we're talking like bourbon whiskey, like I could sip it straight. That's my number one because I haven't found many that I can actually sip on straight. Delicious. Obviously, got to go Jack Daniels. Because it was just like that was my drink for 4 years. I used to get, it's not nothing to brag on, but I used to get like blacked out drunk every time I went out partying because I didn't drink beer. I couldn't stand the taste of beer. Jack Daniels was my shit. I fucking drank a fifth every time I went out. And my wife was like, all right, you're going to have to figure something out. I'm tired of driving your drunk ass everywhere. And I was like, all right. So I started drinking beer. And now, I mean, it's nothing. And then third, I gotta go with old Grandpappy, old Granddad's. My very first whiskey I've ever tried was old Granddad's, and I've never shied away from it. That's a old family member of his there too, and that's good shit.
Same guy. Yeah,
same guy.
Was also like he also made Old Granddad too. So if you ever buy a bottle of Old Granddad bourbon, if you look at the picture, like the logo, that's actually Basil Hayden. So fun little fact. Like, done a lot of research on it. There's a lot of history there.
Yeah.
Let me see. If I had to give a top three, I'm going to give an honorable mention to Jack Daniels, but specifically Jack Daniels Tennessee Honey. It's not in the top three, unfortunately. I'd put it in the top five, though. But kind of like how you said, like Jack, like you turn 21, you recognize the logo. It's the one that you go to first. It's always the first.
Yeah.
For most people, anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely.
But for me specifically, like Tennessee Honey was new at the time, and you throw that bottle in the freezer. You can drink it straight. You can mix it. It's a nice, sweet, little bit of a burn, classic flavor. Absolutely love my, Jack Tennessee Honey. But for number three, I'm actually going to say I'm going to go with Very Old Barton. I don't know if you've had that or not. It's a cheap whiskey. Like you get a fifth for like $20. Same price as Jack, but it's stouter. I like the flavor a lot more. It's a lot more complex. It's also made in Bardstown, Kentucky. I'm a Kentucky guy, so a little bit of hometown pride right there. Number two, if you can't tell from the last stream, you ever see me in public, I got a red tint to my hair. Got a wee bit of Irish in me. So I got to throw an Irish whiskey on there, of course. And I'm going to go with old Jameson. I like my old Jameson quite a bit. You throw it in just about anything. Going back to the coffee cocktail that we were talking about earlier. Do I know?
Did you ever try Proper 12? Conor McGregor's Proper 12?
No. I've learned to stay away from celebrity with alcohol in general. Every time I try one, I'm disappointed.
Now, I tried it. I bought a bottle, and I tried it, but I don't think I ever finished it. So it is probably around here somewhere.
Maybe if you let it sit for a while, it'll turn into something good.
Maybe. It wasn't that great. I mean, it wasn't nothing special.
Well, like I've tried, like Slipknot came out with a whiskey. I tried it. I thought it was horrible. No offense to Slipknot, because I'm pretty sure anybody in that band could kick my ass. Same thing with another whiskey I'm going to mention. Metallica's whiskey. I like that one a lot more than Slipknot's, but I still don't care for it. It's just not for me. If you're into an alcohol with a very loud flavor profile, go nuts. But I like my stuff smooth. Just not for me.
Yeah.
But I do want to get another bottle.
Eric Church came out with his own whiskey. It's called Chief. It was like $200 or some a bottle, and our good friends bought a bottle, and we cracked it open a couple weekends ago. It was pretty good.
I can see him coming out with a good
one. And then, have you seen 12 Strong? The movie where the military guy's coming in on horseback.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
about. Yeah, well, anyways, the actual soldiers of that movie, the actual soldiers, not the actors in the movie or whatever, came out with a bourbon called Horse Soldier, and my buddy bought a bottle of that. Man, that stuff was real good.
What about are you? I don't know. We haven't talked about this before. What about like gin? Are you a gin guy? No. So like I tried gin one time. I was like, never again. It was like the worst tasting stuff ever.
Yeah.
Or
yeah, real. It's like dry, and it's like it's terrible.
Right. Like there's just some like alcohols out there I just stay away from. Gin's the main one. Same thing with like vodka and tequila. I'll have a margarita every now
Tequila,
and then.
there was. Oh yeah. If it's in a margarita, like I can enjoy tequila that way. But a bottle about this size, when I was probably like 22 years old, the bottle of Jose Cuervo Silver was up to this line right here, and my dad goes, "Chug it, pussy. You won't chug it," because I was
Nope.
taking shots of it, like small shots. And he said, "Chug it. You won't chug it, pussy." I said, "Do what?" I grabbed that bottle, just bubbled down that whole thing. And he was like, "Oh, you're fucked." And
Yep.
I kind of just sat on a bar stool and just waited for it to kick in. Once it kicked in, they drugged me to bed. About 2 hours later, I rolled out of bed, just puking my guts up. Never touched tequila since.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because here a couple of years ago, a real good friend of mine, I'm talking real close. Like I could be talking to him right now. He said that he made me my own personal, not personal. He made a batch of moonshine, and he's like, "Hey, I got a jar right here for you. You just got to come down and get it." And I got off work. I drove down, and we're talking like a good 35-minute drive from my work to his work, and met me in the parking lot, gave me my moonshine, along with some football cards, talked about making a football podcast that we're going to talk about alcohol too. Great guy. You would love him.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got back home and I was excited because I'd never had moonshine before. And I remember I got to my room, popped the top, I took a sip, apple pie moonshine. Yeah, there we go, right there.
I might have been that guy.
But it's funny because I remember like taking a sip of it and it tasted dead up like apple pie. I downed the whole bottle like right there. It didn't take like it no burn or nothing. I was like, I know there's alcohol in here, but I drank it and you texted me like as soon as I finished it, how's the moonshine? I was like, it was good. I drank the whole thing. You drank the whole thing? That was like 90 proof. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It was a good time. It was a good time though.
Yeah.
Definitely an enjoyable.
Yeah, that's we came into that problem like we made it almost too drinkable. It was too damn good. Like this stuff right here, it's sitting in my fridge forever. It was our blackout, blackout cherry, which we dumbed this down to about 30 proof. It's fucking Kool-Aid. I mean, you tried it when you was at my house last week. I mean, it's fucking Kool-Aid.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, "Ooh, take it away from me," because I'm about to drink the whole thing. It was a hot day that day, and I was thirsty for some Kool-Aid.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's Kool-Aid. We haven't ran no window cleaner in a while, so we might have to do that in a little bit.
I tried that one time, like just no, I'm all right.
Yeah. It's
There's
fun little hobby.
It's a fun hobby, but good Lord, I feel sorry for anybody who's got to drink it though.
Yeah,
Especially,
I got quite a bit still.
I'd like to get into it myself at some point, but time, patience, money, and none of that's there. I'm a very impatient person. Yeah, you saw last season. Like I turned on Mac Jones real quick whenever he got hurt. We started winning with Bailey Zappi.
You did.
But Mac came back to the picture.
You were on the Zappi team.
Hey, Mac set me straight. I have a Mac Jones jersey now, not a Bailey Zappi jersey.
Yeah. Mac 10.
Mac and cheese. Kraft mac and cheese.
Oh wow, I didn't even think of that. They I really
Good one.
wish Anthony Richardson would have stuck with number 15 though, so we could call him AR-15.
Do y'all have somebody wearing 15 right now? I don't know that.
Nobody good.
Nobody good.
Nobody good, I don't think.
That's about 3/4 of your roster. And if Jonathan Taylor's out, then the percentage goes up a bit.
This motherfucker. All right, well, I think we're coming to the portion of this where I once again whoop Seger-Ballard's ass in Madden.
No. We're turning around today.
Turning around. So,
Yep.
all right, so if the people watched the podcast last week, we did play 2 games before our official game, and Shelby did kick my ass. But we're playing all-time roster, so it's different.
So, on that note, I think to be fair to the people out there, I think before the season starts, that's something that we need to do. I think we need to have a good head-to-head game again with all-time rosters and have it on the record. I think that would be a good time. I think they would enjoy that.
We might do that Madden 24.
Yeah.
Brady versus Manning, that's true. Right before Madden 24.
It would be a good way to kick off the season. And I don't know about
if anybody's watched our podcast like all the way through, though, we are still trying to fill our Madden 24 franchise when it drops. We only have 4 people in it right now, me and him, and then 2 other guys. So if you are watching all the way through and you're interested in joining our franchise, go over to my TikTok or DM me on here or message me on here, and we'll get you all set up. Like, we want a 32 user all Madden franchise for Madden 24. It'd be kick ass. Play 1 game a week. Yeah.
And hey,
but other than that,
and whenever y'all hop in,
if
y'all kick our ass, we will be more than happy to talk about it. We're going to give summaries and recaps from what we see every single week, just the same we do for the NFL, of course. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time.
Oh yeah.
So come at your boys. Come down and talk to us.
We take plenty of ass whoopings online. We ain't scared of it.
Nope. And hey, there's only 4 of us in the league right now. There's so many other good teams. You got there's only 1 team taken. You can play as the Jets, the Bills, or the Dolphins. There's the Kansas City Chiefs, the Eagles are taken, the Cincinnati Bengals. Maybe you can even play as the Denver Broncos, and you can let Russ cook again.
He needs to cook something, because he's kind of like a standstill. He needs to start cooking.
Yeah, before too long, the only thing he's going to be cooking is burgers at the McDonald's.
That's true. But Colts are off the board. Patriots off the board. I almost said Redskins. The Commanders are off the board, and the Eagles are off the board. So plenty of good teams available. And we're just going to run this until right up till probably the last week of preseason. And what we have is what we get, and we'll fire the league up.
So yeah, we ain't gonna wait. So the opportunity is there. It will be a fun time.
Yep. Free.
Promise. Yep. All you gotta do is just shoot one of us a friend request on Xbox or Madden 24. It's cross-platform. So if you're on PlayStation 2, we'll figure it out. We'll get there. We'll get it all settled.
Oh yeah. But do you have anything else for the viewers and listeners today?
Other than they're about to see me kick your ass in Madden, no, I think that about sums it up for this episode.
Damn, we gonna do that, huh? All right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, we're gonna do that.
we are going to go to a short intermission and get all set up for Madden and this all-time fucking smackdown of that ass. So we'll be back in a few.
Gonna take
Later,
the Colts
guys.
to the glue factory. Later, y'all.